Coming up live on LiveWire, we've got a LiveWire for you today. Yeah, we do. And I want to say that it's really interesting. You know, Hollywood used to be a place where they made films, but now films are being made all across California. And so we have some film people here that's going to talk about a festival. And we have Samantha Henderson, who's going to talk about film, and there's a lecture on film to learn more about film, and we're going to talk about how the film industry is really developing in Sacramento. Then you're going to meet two at the Poetry Center. You're going to meet two fellows that are abstract painters, and they're different. One is a little older, one's a little younger, and they have different points of view on how to paint an abstract painting. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. Not only do you love Hollywood and we all watch movies, and there's a batch of great new movies coming out and the SAG Awards are coming, but there are people who want to talk about film and how Californians can make it, how anybody can make a film. And with me in the studio here is Samantha Henderson, and she's with an organization called For the Love of Cinema.
Yes.
And you were walking down the street one day and thought, gosh, I think I'm going to start an organization called For the Love of Cinema.
Actually, I'm part of a group of local filmmakers who have been doing independent films for a while here in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. And we were discussing how segmented our community could be here. So we have a lot of filmmakers, but a lot of segmentation. So we were trying to figure out how do we get the groups together, share projects, learn from each other. And so we developed the For the Love of Cinema group. Our launch event is a Women in Film networking event that's going to be held on January 18th.
Where?
At Empire's Comics Vault on Fulton here in Sacramento.
Yeah, so easy to find.
Easy to find. We're really excited about this event. We're going to have a guest speaker, Leah Latham. Mm-hmm. She's a production manager known for her work on Zootopia. Moana and Frozen too. So I know many people know
Frozen.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
somebody must have seen those. Good. We'll put a card up a little bit later in our talk,
awesome.
So everybody will be able to get your pencils out and keep it going. Oh yeah, there it is. Somebody did it already.
Oh, great.
January 18th, there at 1 to 4 p.m. at Empire Comics Vault.
Right.
Which you might think it's a comics bookstore. It is, but it is also a cultural center. There's something that always happening there that is totally different. And that's on Fulton. What's the cross street on Fulton?
Ooh, I want to say it is it Howe?
Howe, that's right.
Or Watt, maybe it's Watt. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, right.
Watt.
Okay,
so,
well, I agree with you.
We're really excited about this. So the day is gonna look like this. You show up and everyone's welcome. So whether you're a filmmaker, man or woman, or you're an enthusiast, or you're just curious, we want you to come out and hang out with us.
Here, you know. I mean, there's so many film festivals, and we're going to talk about a film festival a little later in the show.
We will. And I've actually worked on a few of the films that are going to be showing, so we're really excited about that as well.
Good. Well, I really want to thank you for coming to talk to me about this. It's very interesting that you've found a lecture series on this. This usually happens at like a university or something. But here is somebody who's just part of the industry coming up and saying, we need to join us together better.
Right, it's going to be a super informal event. So you just show up, you'll get to do the Q&A, participate in that. And then afterwards, we're just going to break and network, talk, share your projects, you know, talk about what you do in the industry or your love of films, and that's it. That's what the day is going to entail, and we're hoping that this will be the start of many events.
Many events,
just
good,
like
good,
it. Yes.
Good. Well, you've been part of a lot of different kinds of community events throughout the years, and we've had a couple conversations about some of the other stuff. And it's do you feel that there's a kind of growth in the bonding of people in the film community?
I definitely think that it's growing. So we're working on the bonding part. There's, like I said earlier, there's a lot of different smaller groups, and we're trying to really connect people so that instead of working in isolation, we could work as bigger teams.
Yes, bigger teams.
Bigger projects, better support, financing, talent, skill, all of that. And we want to be able to compete, with the larger markets.
I've been watching the short films, and I'm going to some of these events and watching them, and for the last 20 years. And I get a sense of more professionality. Actors and acting, there's no long pauses or,
Oh, no.
and a good editing, really, and even the sound quality and the recordings are really terrific.
Yes, we're definitely getting better. So all we can do is improve from there, and that's the goal. But we got to do it together.
That's right. And so I'm going to say it one more time. It's called Women of Film Networking event.
Right.
And it is the Love of Film or
for the Love
Cinema?
of Cinema.
Yeah.
A Women in Film Networking event, January 18th, 1 to 4 at Empire's Comics Vault on Fulton here in Sacramento.
Great. Thanks so much for coming to see me.
All right, thank you.
Talk to me. Oh, I have 2 more minutes. I could ask for one more question.
Sure. Go
Okay.
for it.
What's another question? No, I think it's fascinating. You yourself make films.
I do. So I was just part of a place called Sacramento, which is the Access Sacramento Film Festival. My film was Chef in Sacramento, which won the Producers' Choice Award. So I was really excited about that.
Yeah.
But that is really a reflection of the talent that we have here in Sacramento, not just me as an individual filmmaker. So I want to extend that and just bring a lot of great people together to make a lot of different projects that are commercially viable. Maybe some are just going for the passion project, but we like to bring the industry here.
Well, that company that's coming on for the Status Quill film event in just a few minutes, they're really good, and the choices of the material and the subject matter of these short films is exciting.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thanks so
All
much.
right. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, we're going to take a short pause for the cause, and we'll be back after some short messages, very important messages, to talk with the Status Quill film event right after this.
Hey, going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather!
Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember?
Bark, bark, bark! We're just playing! We're just playing on trying to get you out of here!
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
I was kind of just asking her, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
We're back with LiveWire. I'm Ray Tatar, and in the studio here are some filmmakers and also a film festival developer. And you, sir, are, how do you pronounce your first name?
Adonis.
Adonis.
Don't feel bad,
That's
that
too
happens
easy.
all
No,
the
it's
time.
too easy. Boquette.
Yes, sir.
And you were walking down the street one day. I've been into this jag about walking down the street. And you said, I'm going to think I'll form a film festival.
Not quite like that, but I mean, that's very creative. I appreciate that.
That's actually, I used it before.
Okay. Yeah, it actually started off with me wanting to be an actor, and I took acting courses, and that was my original major. And then I ended up finding out that 99% of actors are jobless.
Yeah,
Kind of like to make a good income, so I ended up switching over to film. After, on top of that 99%, finding out that out of the 1% that are actors that are paid, only 2% of them are African American. So because of that and having to change my life trajectory, I had to reanalyze, you know, this opportunity. And that's kind of the reason why I put together this strong, awesome team with me, is because I want to be able to make more opportunities.
I think it's a fascinating idea. Parker, you're a director, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh. You're not?
No, yes,
I
I
took a
am
pause
a
before
director.
you said that. I'm a
Yes,
director.
sir, I am a director.
Okay, you took that pause, and I thought, oh, maybe
No,
he's
no, no.
not. Maybe he doesn't want to be.
I want to be.
Oh, good. So, did you direct one of the two films that these two people here did?
No, I didn't. I directed my own film. Dylan and myself are both students at Sacramento State in the senior class. He'll be taking that class this coming semester.
Good.
But I was walking down the street one day, and I thought to myself,
Okay. Two.
but I made a film about an older brother who's trying to resuscitate a broken relationship with his younger brother. It's a bit of a personal story. And so it's been an emotional process for me, but I'm very happy with everything.
You know, to find that connection with the script, whether or not you write it yourself, and to employ it while you're directing is a talent, actually. You know, a lot of people can't do it, and they skew their scripts just because they know too much. Ms. Hamilton, you're walking down the street. I can't get it out of my mouth. How did you come upon this film?
It was a story that is near and dear to my heart. I went through 3 sons going off to college and have an empty nest, so I wanted to write. And like Adonis was saying about opportunities for people of diversity, there's a lack of opportunities for women of a certain age to act. And so I wanted a role for a woman that was a little bit older to be able to really have a meaty part to play. And so that's where the idea for it came apart.
It's so important that we deal with issues like this in our society. I work at a place where there's a Women's Wisdom Project, which is exactly built together, put together to catch women who have that emptiness syndrome, and then women who are kind of self-housebound, and really there's an impulse to be creative, to do something in life, to do something that they remembered that they did.
It's hard to redefine yourself once you've spent so many years raising your family, and then you have to redefine yourself and find out who you are again. Sometimes it can be daunting to figure that out. So.
That's right. So stop. When is this film festival going to happen?
January 17th, so next Friday.
Next Friday, and where?
Next Friday. It's going to be at the New Luxury Cinema at 2405 Butano, I think it's Butano Drive,
Butano Drive,
Sacramento, California.
I'm at Sacramento. Butano Drive is right. Good. Okay. Oh, there it is, up on the screen up there. I love the screen. Okay. You better grab that, folks, and it's at the luxury theaters there, and you can go and see this festival. And when we come back, we're going to meet another filmmaker, Dylan Peshek, who also made another film.
Yes. I'm also another Sac State student, so my film is personal to me as well, with dealing with like the loss of friends and stuff like that. And for my film, I wanted to cast female leads. And so that's what I did, and it's about 2 college roommates who have a falling out, and one of them goes missing, and so then the other friend kind of has to dig deep down and find a way to kind of find where her friend is gone.
Yeah,
kind of mend their relationship.
Good, 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 good. And how did it work out for you? Did you have a lot of hard times directing?
It actually went very smooth. We had like 6 shoot dates, so it was kind of a big shoot. But for the most part, everything went great. Other than my actress actually got her costumes stolen out of her car a day before the shoot, so I had to run around last minute and kind of go to thrift stores and find something that looked close enough. And when you watch the film, you won't even notice.
Isn't that amazing?
Kind of worked out really good.
You see somebody looks at a car and says, "Ah, wow, what a neat costume."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I gotta roll it up and say, "No, I have more time." Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, then I can move some more questions, can't I? Good.
Looks like it.
So, how many years have you done this festival?
This is actually the first time.
All right. I think it's kind of interesting that you pick these folks. Are there a lot of people who are like you guys are related to the college?
Yeah, Sac State.
You're not.
No, I'm not.
So you're more of an independent, and you guys are related to. We have B-roll. Oh my goodness! What are we going to see?
We're actually going to watch a trailer for all of the films put together that are going to be shown at this festival.
Can we watch that now?
A journalist asked me years ago a question I really couldn't answer. You know, they said, what do you do? Why do you do this? And I don't know where it came from, but I sort of turned to the journalist in a flip kind of way. I said, I dream for a living. Years later, I realized, well, that's exactly what I do. I dream for a living. What I've done all my life, this is what I wanted to do with my life. When you have a dream, and the dream isn't something you dream and then it happens, the dream is something you never knew was going to come into your life. Dreams always come from behind you, not right between your eyes. It sneaks up on you. But when you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face, this is who you are, this is what you must be for the rest of your life. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. And I've always said to my kids, the hardest thing to listen to, your instincts, your human personal intuition, always whispers, it never shouts. And if you can listen to the whisper, and if it tickles your heart, and it's something you think you want to do for the rest of your life, then that is going to be what you do for the rest of your life, and we will benefit from everything you do. Thank you very much.
It's called the Status Quill Film Festival. How did you get the name?
A play off of the word status quo, so kind of like flipping the script and
Flipping the
focusing
script
on
around. Okay.
different stories. Yeah.
Wow.
You could only actually get the tickets on Eventbrite, so you can't come to the door.
Oh, you can. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, anything else for the good of the order?
We're also going to have a director's Q&A after the film showing, followed by a film mixer, so people can kind of intermingle with each other.
Great. Thank you all for coming to talk to me about this, and I'm very excited to see yet another good film festival coming ahead. All right, whoa, we're going to move right along, and you're sitting there, stay there, because we're going to talk to a couple of interesting artists who do abstract work, painters, and one is from the San Francisco area, and the other is from San Diego. Come up to be on LiveWire. So we'll be back in just a few seconds after some very important messages.
Hey, going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather!
Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember?
Bark, bark, bark! We're just playing! We're just playing on trying to get you out of here!
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her, thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian. and we chose adoption.
You're back. Thanks. Good. Thanks for watching that. That was quite wonderful. But with me in the studio are Charles Goldman, who is an abstract artist, painter, pusher, paint, and Alex Carbon, who does the same kind of thing, but a little different. So we're walking down the street. No, I'm not going to do that. You fellows, how did you fall into that?
Well, I've been drawing ever since I can remember. I did a lot of theater posters about so many years ago when I knew you. And I kept dabbling in graphic arts and computer stuff, and then when I retired, as you can tell, I thought, let's see what paint is like. And I was interested in making an offering of my meditative experiences is the best way I can describe it, and playing around with the paint and pastel markers and watching it happen. Wow. What about you, Alex?
I was running the hose in my backyard when I was like 20 years ago when I was a kid, and doing the same thing, just watching what was happening with the water and the streams. And when I was around 15 in high school, I had a nervous breakdown and out of that I started painting as a form of therapy.
Great. So you found a direction through that therapy. Fantastic. So both of you are, I'm interested in, what abstract, most people don't, they kind of mixed up about what abstract painting or abstract paintings are. And I'm not sure we can describe it, but I'll start and maybe one of you can pick it up.
Go ahead.
It has in it not really an impulse to find the reality of something you're looking at, but it absolutely reaches toward a love of texture and form, and it doesn't assume that it's going to turn into something like a dog walking across a park, that it's going to stay with color and all of the other aspects of what makes a picture happen, and draw your attention to those aspects as the idea.
Right. Color, shape, contrast, value. Those are all the materials aside from the actual medium. I approach it from the standpoint of not what does an object look like, but what is the energy that's arising out of that object. What does it mean to be fire? What does it mean? What is matter? What is mind? What is spirit? What are all those things? How can I make them visual? And as I start, it becomes an experiment in finding out in discovery.
Oh, well, can we gainsay that? That's
Same.
really a wonderful description. Thank you.
Abstract art has an interesting way of transmuting your subconscious reality, and then that continues forward with the viewer, them seeing their own subconscious reality in the images and in the same form as a Rorschach test.
The Rorschach test. That's very interesting. So you're going to have a show with both of your works.
Yes.
At the Sacramento Poetry Center gallery.
Right.
At 25th and R in Midtown Sacramento. And there's a party this Friday night, and you can meet you can meet these two wonderful artists.
Happy to
and
talk
ask them.
with anyone.
Good. Anybody. Glad to be on the planet. So, okay, so that's it. You have that on the screen there for a minute, but it's this Friday night. You can be there at 8 o'clock and partake at 8 to 10 p.m. That's the party to meet the artists, these two artists. And, well, you guys are quite wonderful. I have two pieces of your art here, but I don't think we have any time to talk, do we? How many minutes do we have? Oh, we have minutes. Okay, there's Charles. Charles, wow. Talk about this. What happened?
That's a part of the painting.
Yes.
I call that element fire. You can see that it has a very velvety pastel background, and then a very vibrant, almost liquid, fluid acrylic medium. And I use something called tilaka powder. I don't know if tilaka powder is the powder that you see people in India putting on their foreheads.
Right, yes.
They come in all different colors. They create an amazing, vibrant, fluid feeling.
That's
Go
great.
ahead,
What about
Alex.
you, sir? Let's have a look at one of your works. Zoom.
It's a little contrasty.
Yeah.
This piece is this is a recent piece. It's I'm not exactly sure what I think this one looks like.
I'll tell you what to
right
do.
now.
We'll come down and you'll show that piece to people.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, boys, for coming.
Hey.
We would see you wonderful artist guys, at the Poetry Center Gallery.
Thank you, Ray.
Friday
Thank
night.
you.
Okay, that's all the time we have tonight. So we'll see you next Wednesday on LiveWire and meet people like here, these two guys, Alex and Charles, and we'll see you then.